Welcome back to LEGO Lodge and welcome to my top 10 list of LEGO Star Wars Starfighters. This will not be including any TIE fighters because those don't count as Starfighters in my opinion. Of course, also no shuttles or bigger ships. And to make this video a bit more interesting for you to watch and a bit harder for me to make, I made every single spot unique so there won't be any duplicates in this list just because otherwise it would be really boring with a bunch of X-Wings in the top 5. So here we go. Beginning with some quickfire honorable mentions, we first have the Z95 Headhunter, then we have the 2017 X-Wing Starfighter, which means yes, there will be a different X-Wing in the top 10. Next, we have a bunch of Jedi Starfighters, which I really wanted to include, but I just couldn't. So first of all, we have the newest Obi-Wan's Jedi Starfighter, then we have Sassy Tin's Jedi Starfighter, and finally we have Plo Koon's Jedi Starfighter. I almost forgot Yoda's Jedi Starfighter, which makes the honorable mentions just because it's like a really unique, interesting little set. Next, we have the UCS A-Wing. Yes, there is going to be a different A-Wing in this list. Then we have the V19 Torrent, really interesting set, but just a bit outdated in my opinion. Then we also have the Mandalorian Starfighter and the Y-Wing Starfighter from 2018, which was so close to making it, but actually I think another Y-Wing is better than this one. Now with the honorable mentions out of the way, let's begin with number 10, and this is going to be the New Republic E-Wing. I think this set isn't super spectacular, but I think it does everything right that it needed to do right. Its color scheme is basically perfect, the shaping may be a little bit bulky, but that's kind of just how the ship is, and honestly just really solid build. Now the number 9 spot is a bit more controversial, I think. It's going to be General Grievous' Starfighter, and I really did not want to put this set in this list because of how insanely overpriced it is, but I can't really deny that the actual ship design is amazing in this set. They really got the colors spot on and the shape is just so sleek, and yeah, I think it does deserve a spot in this list, but only number 9 because of the price and because they reused that torso piece from Mustafar on Obi-Wan Kenobi. Next up at the number 8 spot, we have the B-Wing UCS set, and I think this thing really deserves to be here just because it's by far the best B-Wing LEGO has ever made. The playset is just really subpar to this one, and this one looks so detailed. I love the orange accents, and I think it's really impressive how LEGO was able to make such a long ship into a UCS set and still make it structurally sound enough to really be supported by itself with the stand. And yeah, I think that definitely deserves the number 8 spot. And now coming in at the number 7 spot, we have the ARC 170 Starfighter. And I know this is a fan favorite, and maybe you're thinking, why is this so low on the list? I think the build is, while very beautiful, a little bit outdated nowadays, especially at the front using those tires, and I just don't think it really holds up perfectly. But that being said, it's still an amazing set and has some nice minifigures, although I will say the Kit Fisto uses this weird rubbery mold as a head, and that is definitely prone to kind of getting damaged very easily. So yeah, just the number 7 spot for this one. And now for the number 6 spot, I'm sure you've been already wondering, when is he going to include a Jedi Starfighter in this Starfighter list? Well, here it is. It's the Jedi Starfighter with hyperdrive ring, and of course that's its name, but of course it is the Obi-Wan's Jedi Starfighter with hyperdrive ring, and this hyperdrive ring just really boosts it up to the number 6 spot and differentiates it from the other Starfighters, which even though are amazing in design, just don't hold up to this in my opinion. Plus the minifigures in this set are phenomenal, but more about the build, it just looks a bit cleaner in my opinion than the newest Obi-Wan Starfighter because of those gaps that it features running through the entire build, and this one just doesn't have them, so I really like that. From the design perspective, overall definitely deserving of this spot in my opinion. And now coming in at the number 5 spot, we have the Resistance A-Wing Starfighter. And this set is so underrated in my opinion because this is by far the best A-Wing Starfighter that there is in my opinion. And the only reason why I put it this low is actually because it's so sticker heavy. It relies on stickers for some really big details across the entire build. That's the only reason why I put it here. Otherwise, I would probably put it in my top 3. That's how much I like this set. And the reason why I much prefer this Playscale A-Wing to the UCS A-Wing is because the UCS A-Wing is so oversized. It is nowhere near minifigure scale, whereas this thing is definitely close to, if not perfectly minifigure scale, as far as I can tell. And plus, I just really like this green and white color scheme, which of course isn't quite as iconic as the red and white from the UCS version, but I think just looks so good because we don't really see this color scheme in any other LEGO Star Wars set, and it fits this set so well. Plus, it packs so much detail and some nice minifigures as well, so definitely deserving of the number 5 spot. Next up for the number 4 spot, we have the Rebel U-Wing Fighter. And yeah, it does say Fighter on the box, but I do still see this thing as a Starfighter. And this thing just looks phenomenal, from the color scheme of white and blue, which I honestly just love, to all the details from the turbines to the function where you can fold the wings back. Just looks phenomenal. The minifigures on top of all of that are just perfect. You get a bunch of minifigures, 5 of them, to fill out that cargo section at the bottom. And I really wish LEGO made more U-Wings, to be honest, but so far this is the only one they've made and definitely deserves the number 4 spot. Now, of course, you saw me not include the OT Y-Wing in this list because I put it in the honorable mentions section, and actually that's because I saved this number 3 spot for the Resistance Y-Wing Starfighter. And this might come as a surprise to you guys, but maybe I'm biased because I do own the set, but this thing is absolutely gorgeous. The color scheme looks fantastic, even though I do prefer the yellow and white. I think red and white just suits it very well, and the detail that this set packs at this scale is incredible to me. I also really like how this set has a lot of gray in the middle section instead of that brown, which the other one of course includes because the source material has those gray tubes or lines in the middle section, but I just prefer the cleaner look of just the simple gray detail. And I also like the turbines at the front a bit more because they aren't just this big like white dome pieces. They're just more detailed and have those little openings in the source material. So yeah, overall, I just prefer this one to the other one, but let me know if you disagree in the comments. Now getting into the number 2 spot, and maybe you know this already, but this is my favorite set of all time, probably. It is the Naboo Starfighter from 2011. And to be honest, I was this close to putting this at the number 1 spot because of how much I love it, and I was about to let my bias take over, but I did stop myself from doing that because this isn't just a list of my favorite Starfighters, it's of the best ones. But that being said, I still think this one deserves the number 2 spot because this is by far the best N1 Starfighter LEGO has ever made, in my opinion. Perfect design, very sleek, and still holds up to this day, except for that R2-D2 maybe. But the side build is also pretty nice and not like completely useless, especially because it comes with that droideka, which is also, in my opinion, the best droideka at minifigure scale LEGO has ever made. So yeah, this set overall is number 2. And look, I know I just said that I wasn't going to let bias take control of these picks, but I think some bias did slip through because the number 1 spot for the top 10 LEGO Star Wars Starfighters is going to the Poe Dameron's X-Wing Starfighter. And if you've been watching this channel, maybe you already know that this is my favorite and, in my opinion, genuinely the best LEGO Star Wars X-Wing they have ever made. Yep, including all of the UCS versions they have made now. This thing looks amazing from the color scheme to all of the detail. I think this thing just really deserves this number 1 spot. And actually, maybe the color scheme looks a bit too bold for you and maybe it doesn't really come across very well on the box art, so I'm trying to show you here in real life because I do own this set, of course. But yeah, the color scheme just makes sense to me. I mean, the orange and white, I don't know why LEGO has never or done this before, or Star Wars has never done this before, because this just looks amazing, especially for a Rebel, or in this case, Resistance ship. It just makes sense to have white and orange as a color combination to me. Plus, the design of the actual X-Wing from the sequels, I just really like because it has those singular intakes at the front, which then split in half, instead of having 4 separate little intakes like the original trilogy X-Wing, which is just another design feature that I prefer on this one. And yeah, overall, just very sleek, really nice build, and of course, a really nice play function with those opening X-foils. Yeah, overall, I think this thing deserves the number 1 spot, but what do you think? Let me know in the comments down below if you think I was too biased with my picks or if you agree with my list. And I hope to see you again on the LEGO Lodge.